This is the worst thing you've possibly ever heard. It takes place in Pennsylvania, and it has to do with an Amazon delivery. Now, we've heard stories before that Amazon drivers are so busy, they don't have time to stop and
do basic human functions.
Use the bathroom. They don't have time to. Well, it has happened again now in Pennsylvania. We'll just listen to these anchors setting up the story. Just the setup. These are the two anchors before we even get to the reporter.
And new tonight, a local man says an Amazon delivery driver left an unwanted package. You can call it a special delivery right in front of his home. So he went back. He checked his Ring doorbell camera. He couldn't believe what happened. Channel 11's Ryan Houston spoke to him tonight, and Ryan, I gotta say, you have got to have a strong stomach for this story.
Oh, Lisa, that's one way to say it. The homeowner claims that driver defecated right in front of his house. He told me he does not want the driver fired, but he does want Amazon to clean his street and replace the items that are now ruined.
Okay. A lot of things about that. First of all, the anchors dance around it for 30 seconds before they finish.
An unwanted delivery. They say good things come in small packages. All right, Lisa.
Yeah. And then I was so surprised. The homeowner says he doesn't want the driver fired. You don't? What? What does
Up
he have?
until now, he's been great.
Yeah. What more does he have to do to get fired?
He shot on your property.
He wants to get fired. Why do you think he did it?
I just want him to clean my street.
That's it?
You don't want this man fired? Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
He's a.
And I'd like some new earbuds if that's all right.
My God! Now we go to the
streets.
We go to the streets. We have the whole story. This is the homeowner who saw an Amazon delivery driver defecate right in front of his house.
I pointed at him like a principal. I said, "You, come here. Keep coming up the hill." So when he come up the hill,
Michael Gundy says he got a horrible package delivered right outside his house in Millville.
I smelt it. I tasted it. I couldn't get that taste out of my mouth for like 2 hours.
Now, another question.
Michael.
You tasted it?
What?
Oh, did someone leave fudge in the street?
Why did you check yourself?
What kind of a...
Can't you see it from a distance and that's
Maybe,
enough?
let's hope he means in the grand sense. Where
I
it's
think
just,
so.
I think
you
that's
can't
what it
get
is.
it out of your
Yeah,
senses.
it gets into your nostrils and then it's...
like occasionally when you walk into one of the stalls here.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I taste it. Because I first thought, you tasted it? How much proof do you
An
need?
old Cheech and Chong routine. Hey, this looks like dog poo. Taste it. You know what it is. Okay. Looks like dog poop. Yeah, it tastes like dog poop.
I love his open, too, because the poor Amazon driver, as he saw him coming, he was going, "You, come here."
Yes,
He's going, oh, he saw it. Oh, God, he knows. He knows it was me. You, up the hill.
The principle, the finger, the summoning of with my finger only.
And it worked.
It worked. It worked.
Now, where this is on the curb, or
Yes.
It's not on his.
It's not on his property.
Okay.
It's on the street right in front of his house. But the story really unfolds. Now, there's more to it, of course.
The stench was still in the air when we went to interview Gundy and his family. He claims his Ring doorbell camera caught an Amazon delivery driver defecating in the street on Sunday.
I was standing in another man's fecal matter, and anybody would be angry.
The video shows the Amazon driver pull up, he gets out of the truck, and walks on the opposite side. He stays there for a few minutes, then slowly walks out and throws something in the trash. The driver puts the truck in reverse and drives away.
It's disgusting. It's the most foul thing I've ever smelt in my life, honestly. I do a lot of nasty stuff doing construction. That was one of the nastiest things I smelled in my life.
You hear that? This man knows nasty.
What's going on with this Amazon driver, man?
Well, clearly he ate something.
Do they not have a health plan?
I love this. The guy who lives there, he's like, I've done some nasty stuff, man. This is the nastiest.
I've seen things and wearing my hard hat, man.
I was in the jungle. I was in Afghanistan.
And the reporter, the stench still heavy in the air. What is wrong?
When our van rolled up.
I did 2 tours. I ain't never smelt nothing like that.
It does sound like
God.
It does sound like from the facts we've heard that the driver tried to clean up
Well,
what was left and put it into a trash can.
apparently he did. Well, I think he wiped and put that
The
in a
paper?
trash, but he
That's what I think,
left
yeah.
the pile there.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the homeowner has a granddaughter who ran through it.
Well, everybody circulates around this thing. It's like a meeting
that's
place.
revealed here.
Come on.
So the guy goes up to the Amazon driver and says, I saw you throw a nasty napkin in that trash can.
Gundy tells Channel 11 he went back to look at the cameras after his granddaughter tracked fecal matter into their car. He says he watched the video and confronted the delivery driver who was still in the neighborhood.
And I said, you left your napkin with fecal matter in the middle of the street. He said, buddy, I didn't have a napkin.
Okay.
I barehanded it, bro.
If you found a napkin, that's somebody else's.
That's FedEx, bro. We're Amazon. We don't have time.
We're too busy. Who do you think's
I gotta
delivering
take a picture of everything on every porch.
UPS get breaks.
Well, it gets even worse. It gets even worse. Now,
Worse.
the guy
So the girl walked through it. Got into the homeowner's car.
That's right. And the man, that's
Now
what
it's
he
on
said.
the mat.
You got fecal matter in my car. And I bet you the homeowner said, hey, dude, you left fecal matter here in the street. I think he was using,
More street vernacular.
I think so. Yeah. More slang.
Yeah.
But he kept it clean for cameras. And then he said it got even worse.
I said, you left the evidence with your fecal matter on it, my man. Nobody else, I think, rode by and did that.
Gundy says he handed the driver a water hose to clean up the mess, and that just made it worse. They got on his shoes and on the side of his truck.
Now, they show a shot of
Wait.
Yes.
Whose shoes?
The homeowner's shoes.
Sprayed it toward him?
Just, it's on his kid. It's on him and his truck.
Everywhere.
What is this stuff?
You want me
It's
to
an
clean the
enigma.
street? Yeah, I'll clean the street. Splash.
We wash this off.
I'll hose it off.
They showed a shot of the side of this guy's truck, and it looked like the guy just took fecal water and threw it on there. I mean, it's just splashed with it. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? The whole thing was bad. So he got on the horn with Amazon. He said, let me give Amazon a call.
I called Amazon. So when I found one for 3 hours, they gave me the runaround. Put me in loops for 3 hours.
You never got any
I mean, how
sense
do you
then.
call Amazon?
Exactly.
Biggie?
I want to call 1-800. I've told you before, I wanted to call 1-800-AMAZON or 1-800-TWITTER. And
Yeah.
they don't pick up their
They don't
phone.
pick up.
But he said he was on the phone with Amazon for over 3 hours. They did nothing for him. And then the reporter at the end, which we don't have, said, I've been emailing with Amazon all day. They've given me no response. You know, they
Well,
just,
I mean, there has to be a customer service department.
you'd think, wouldn't you, somewhere?
It's I've argued with Amazon for years
Have
over
you?
stuff, and it's hard to. If you get to speak to somebody, it's a miracle. I had to get a back channel number from some guy who I annoyed enough. He was like, because I just kept saying supervisor, supervisor.
Yeah.
Is there anything supervisor? And finally, he's like, dude, I can't put you any higher. Call this number.
Yeah. That, you got to him.
Yeah.
And Biggie did not, for the record, have poo on his shoes.
No.
No, he never does.
How nasty is this driver? I mean, it is everywhere.
Yeah.
And the poor homeowner, and he tried to get some satisfaction out of him. And do the Amazon drivers really not have any time anywhere to use the bathroom? That's what we've heard for years. They have to just go where they can, or they have no time.
Maybe they need to install the little
Yes.
road toilets in the
Yes,
trucks.
Yes. We had a plastic toilet in our minivan for years
I know they exist.
for the
Yeah.
children, you know.
I bet some drivers might put those in there each day.
I mean, they
Yeah.
are bottles. They just pee in a bottle or something, you know. Let's go to Trucker D, who's talking about this horrible story. Trucker D, go ahead.
All right, Kelly. Now, I'm not saying what the driver did was right,
Yeah,
but climb down off your high horse and let's talk about this for a second.
you're right. You're right.
As a long haul truck driver, unfortunately, I have IBS, and
Terrible.
there are times there you cannot make it to the truck stop or the fuel station or whatever.
I understand it.
The prime example, the other day, I pulled over because it hit me. The fuel station was closed. I had no choice. I grabbed my wipes, dashed behind the fuel station down into the ditch, and had to handle my business.
Well,
I
listen.
mean, I didn't want to do that,
I get it.
but when it hits, it hits. There's nothing you can do about it.
How long do you have when you feel the sensation, Trucker D, until you know it's go time?
There are times that I have literally maybe 30, 45 seconds. I got to make a split decision.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it happens.
Well, I
That I
understand.
understand.
I understand it. I mean, listen.
What about a truck toilet?
Do you have one? Can you get one?
I have not went down and picked one up yet. But yeah, they do make some for some of these rigs and stuff. Some drivers get them, but I mean, sometimes you ain't got enough time to get back on that catwalk and hide and all this other stuff, and you got to just get down in the ditch or something, man. It's that way sometimes.
Was this when the last time it happened to you? Was it daylight or night?
It happened just 2 days ago, and it was broad open daylight.
Then the storms came.
Well, I can't say too much. You know,
You befouled a national park.
I was at
At least once.
Yeah, I was at a national park. When I jog outdoors,
And use socks to take care of your wipage.
But I left the fecal matter deep in the woods, and I threw the socks away. You know, I didn't leave a dirty napkin in the street, and I didn't leave a pile in the street. I understand it.
Did you kick it like backward, leaves over backwards like a dog?
I tried to cover it with.
Sometimes you can't kick
but
it.
you know, there weren't that many leaves around. Summertime. It was heavy summer.
Pity.
It was right in the middle of summer.
You pooped on a dead Hessian.
I tell you, I know. Well, it was
a Revolutionary War.
It was a
battlefield.
Revolutionary War park where I did that, and I was so ashamed because then up around the bend there was a porta.
There she is.
There's the toilet right there. I didn't
Big,
know.
beautiful, open.
You're
public
right.
toilet.
You're right, Trucker D. You're right. Let's not.
Now, IBS, that changes the game. Now maybe that's what the poor Amazon driver has too.
Thanks,
no
Trucker
telling.
D. Appreciate it. And I'll say this too. No, I don't have IBS. Not diagnosed. Excuse me.
What do you have?
I'm sorry. But I do. When I jog outdoors, I get a little rumble.
jostles
I
you.
mean, there's nothing I can do.
And that doesn't happen anymore. You're an indoor man.
I'm an indoor man, and I always go to the bathroom before I go to the gym. Always. Because I have to be empty or I'm in trouble. And I know that about myself. D, you're talking about the Amazon driver who befouled this man's street. Go ahead.
What's up, guys? It's your number one black people on listening except for James.
Yes, sir, D.
There we
Good to
go.
hear from you.
And look, I worked for Amazon before, too, and as just a good human being, if you got to go use the bathroom, you can just stop. I have stopped because I wanted a soda. I have stopped because I wanted some crackers to eat. I'm not killing myself for Amazon to get to these people's houses in a certain time.
Yeah.
Wait till all these Prime deliveries hit.
Oh, I know. Oh,
I mean,
gracious.
the streets are going to be filled with people.
It's just more
This
and
week.
more. Yeah, of course. This is Prime Day. And more, we're having things delivered. We know that. It's just going to be a continuing
I'm guessing if you've got to go and you're out in a rural area where there are no convenience stores, you know,
Behind a tree,
maybe they're 15 minutes away from a
Yeah.
public bathroom.
Yeah.
But don't you? I feel like this guy was like at the end of a cul-de-sac in a neighborhood.
But it had a trash can nearby. Now, maybe he means like a homeowner's trash
That's what I
can.
think. I think there was a like trash day.
Like a rolling can.
That's how I'm picturing it. Thank you, D. Always appreciate that.
That's the first time, I think, in the history of this program we've had Trucker Day backed up with D.
Wait till you get a load of this. The trifecta. Texas Truckers. That's right.
No, you
That's
can't
right.
do this to us.
That's right. Texas Trucker. A great P1 he's a
He's a
long
friend of
haul.
the show.
He's a friend of this show, and he drives a truck, so we know he's probably been in this situation. Trucker D, you have a comment.
Texas Trucker.
Excuse me, Texas Trucker. You have a comment.
Good morning, guys. Listen, I remember one time I was coming through Baltimore, Maryland, and I thought I was going to be good and try to keep driving and use the bathroom at the same time. So my grandma's a nurse, so I took one of her bedpans before I left the house, and I tried to use the bathroom while I was driving, and boy, I hit one of them bumps. Boy, I'd never do that again.
Yeah, it goes flying, doesn't it?
That's right.
And there's no
That's right.
lid.
That's right.
You're the lid.
That's the Texas Trucker. That's exactly right.
While you're driving.
Thank you, Texas Trucker.